Welcome back. Welcome back to Kenton and Habiba. We're in my office, my home office, and I just wanted to show you my beautiful plant on my desk. It's called a hyacinth, and it smells amazing. It smells like expensive perfume. It is so beautiful and fragrant to me. Anyway, let's open up the blinds because it's looking rather sunny, but still cold outside. I don't know. What's the plan for today? What is the plan? Let me see if I can go get Kenton uprooted from his desk. Let's see if we can distract him with a little bit of, I don't know, relaxation. It is the weekend after all, right? We deserve to take a little break here and there. Anyway, I can't wait for it to be spring. I have these little potted daffodils on my breakfast table. And yeah, they just lighten things up a little bit. So pretty. I must show you my newest plant. Yep, I got a new plant. Not like I need a new plant, but I got one. It's called a ponytail palm, and I'm ashamed to say I killed the last one. You know I'm usually pretty good with plants, right? But last ponytail palm died. So Kenton thought it was nice to get me another one. I also have a little miniature rose here, and she's cute, very cute. I like to alternate my plants in different places. Sometimes I put them downstairs, sometimes I put them on my desk. I move them around. Hey! You know, your girl lost about 3 pounds, so she's feeling a little brave and decided to put on a belt. Maybe a waistline's coming in. Yeah, I'm wearing my mother's belt, by the way, an old vintage belt, and this polka dot dress. She feeling cute or whatever. What are we gonna do today? What's the plan? Come on now, we need to get out. But it's Saturday, and I think we should go out. I think we should go out.
Hi folks, welcome back. It's been a minute. See, look, I got an Amazon truck up ahead. That's where accidents happen. So, anyways, welcome back. So we're out and about, trying to enjoy what little sunshine there is. And we're heading out to Rolesville, it's a little small town, and see what's up there.
We're in a place called Rolesville.
You were right.
Has very small town vibes. Susannas Antique vintage furniture and garden items. Let's go see. It's giving me my great grandma vibes. I like the vintage.
That's right. Yeah, I see that. So this was like one of the original buildings when the town was established.
Yes. And
Pretty.
this has been everything. This has been, you know,
This is like
grocery store, auto mechanic. It used to be the last state.
Oh, you got all this vintage.
Yeah. I think like 20 years ago, it used to be an old building where the post office was right here.
This reminds me of Grandpa.
And
$5. Reminds me of Grandpa.
mayor's office or something was right off.
They have a lot of vintage glass and a lot of like chandelier pieces and bowls. And they also have these blush colored glasses, which I like. And what's this? Looks rather Victorian, doesn't it? Nice. We are also a fan of the old books. Love it. Gives me Harry Potter vibes. I love the neat display of all these bottles. Is it bottles or cans? I'm not sure, but it appears to be paint, mineral paint. And they also have all these swatches, but I'm not familiar with the brand. Very pretty though. There's so much to look at. You really have to slow down to really pay attention and not miss anything. What's this? Oh, what is that? Oh, they are letter stamps that you dip in ink and you make signs with. Grandpa glasses. I like small things like these brass salt and pepper shakers.
Doorknobs.
Whenever I see vintage doorknobs, I'm reminded of Berg, where our children grew up. This is where we lived for almost 9-10 years, and the doors all had vintage doorknobs. I loved all the doors. I loved the vintage doorknobs, and I think one day when we move to another house, eventually, I will still want really old vintage doorknobs because they're always so ornate. But anyway, yeah, this is where we used to live. So much space, very old house, majestic house.
Off for our usual walk. We're at St. Andrews, Berg, trying to get our exercise on.
Kind of
What are you
clean.
doing?
It's clean, it's a little clean.
Of course it's clean.
Kinda.
Do some country work. Do some work. That's right, let me see those muscles. Hey, look at me and smile, Kareem.
Doing slave work. I'm
You-
not supposed to be smiling.
You doing slave work? You're not doing slave work. Just filling in some dirt is slave work. You don't even know what slave work is. Love you. I'll be praying for you.
Please.
Make us proud. You always make us proud.
No.
Be optimistic.
I feel like Miriam.
You feel like Miriam. You look all beat up.
Yeah.
Be optimistic.
Well, it's hard with work and everything.
Yeah, it's hard to balance, but such is the struggle of
Right.
working parents, adults with children and jobs, and you still have to study. It's disgusting, Kareem. What are you doing? I think you're too grown for that. What are you doing? You enjoying that? Can you... Silly.
So from 2014 to 2016, Khalid was enrolled in a residential high school program, North Carolina School of Science and Math, so he wasn't home. That is son number one. Living and working in the country was definitely a challenge for Kenton and I at times, but I think it was good for our children because it helped us raise really well-rounded, hardworking, non-materialistic children.
Kareem, you give me an A. What do you think?
Hey.
It's an A? They hurt my feelings. They didn't like my smoothies because I usually put a lot of yogurt and cream in it. I like my drinks creamy. Anyway, they like more like slushies. So this works well and it's very healthy, right?
So this is our old guest bathroom, and we had just renovated it. I had picked some azaleas from outside. New faucets, new sink top, everything was new. Flooring, the tiles, the bathtub was all brand new. Unfortunately, we didn't get to enjoy it much before we left. My taste is rather eclectic, but because it was a historic home, I intentionally decorated it to feel rather vintage.
I think you took more than 5 minutes. Quick salad. This is some shredded carrots and zucchini. You can make these zucchini noodles. It's really cool. Great alternative instead of pasta. So zucchini so far, scallions, shredded carrots, some cucumbers. It will make a great fresh salad. Then I'm gonna add some chopped mint, a little bit of leftover cucumber. I'm gonna put the rest in. Also gonna add some cilantro. I'm gonna shred that, put it on, and top it off with peanut dressing. So it gives it a sort of Thai style flavor, exotic flavor. We're gonna mix this in properly, and it might be a little challenging at first because the dressing is a little bit thick, but eventually it will mix thoroughly and then we will plate it. I probably should have mixed this in a mixing bowl and then transferred it to a prettier bowl, but that's okay, this is real life.
So yes, it's interesting how an object in a vintage store can bring back so many memories. Let's see what else we can find.
A lot of salt and pepper shakers.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Sam, mechanical cast iron. This cast iron, it's metal. So these are made out of cast iron. I found these large Russian nesting dolls. They usually have other dolls inside them. And all these vintage blankets. What are you doing, nosy? It's like a mini kitchen in there. Yeah. How much?
19.
Is it really vintage? It probably is.
Nothing weird.
Looks, yeah, it's
Seen better days.
seen better days. You see me? I really like this glass and silver set. It looks too large to be like salt and pepper, so I'm thinking some other condiments. What do you think? But really nice. Kenton's found some vintage books. This blush-colored creamer and sugar bowl is pretty, isn't it? They also have lots of vintage glassware for your bar. For those of you who like to have a bar or to host or just like the look. Anyway, they have a ton of stuff, and this store looks deceivingly small from the front, but it's huge.
What's that? Smudge?
Ah,
It's heavy.
it's heavy.
Brass.
Or is it for honey? No, I don't know what that is.
This Smudge Pot.
Okay, I need someone to tell me what a smudge pot is. I tried to look it up, but there were different definitions, so I am totally clueless. What is a smudge pot? To the seniors out there who know better, please help.
Unusual.
This?
Yeah, because you can put, think of different stems, different flowers.
Oh, it's finger vase.
Yeah, it's like you can put a lot of flowers in there. Old first aid book. Wonder how old this book is. I want to see. 4th edition, revised 1957. Yeah, I think I'll get that. Look at this too. You know when I used to see stuff like this? These old bottles of medicine. These made for collectibles, I'm telling you. But they must have, yeah, well, they might have put stuff in there.
A laxative.
And look at this little vintage. It's nice. Oh my god, are these little salt and pepper shakers? What? That is so cute. Should put this right next to it. So cute. Actually, tea infuser.
So in the glass-covered shelves, they have vintage perfume bottles and lots of vintage jewelry. It honestly reminds me so much of my great-grandmother, not my grandma, not my mom's mom, but her mother. I was so fortunate enough to know her. And later in life, she lived in a small apartment and she had all these like little trinkets. And the space just feels like a warm hug, a warm hug of old memories. I don't want my house to look like this, but I certainly enjoy walking through a space like this and just reliving old memories. Isn't this needlepoint chair pretty? Can you imagine, things in the past were made solid, okay? Because look at this, 50 years later, 100 years later, it's still here because they made their things really well.
Vintage glass bottles.
right out of the basket. Oh. She's like, I can't walk. I said, no. Are you so tired? It's in here, Debbie. We didn't keep in this room.
I know, so cute.
I hope you can tell, but there are a lot of rooms in this space. Some small, some big. This is a small room with a lot of faith-based objects in there.
Pay for my stuff. Okay. I'm gonna pay for my stuff.
And then,
So let me point out, if you're a do-it-yourself type of person, you will love this. If you're not, you will probably think there's a lot of junk. But for those of us who have an eye for decorating and repurposing things, this is definitely a treasure. So there's a lot of rusty old metal objects, but they're solid, and a lot of chippy wood, but it's in good condition. And so if you can look past the surface, just imagine repainting this. Just imagine fresh plants, a beautiful plant sitting in here. You got to use your imagination. But there's a lot of treasures out here.
giant star. Can you imagine that on a building? Talking about this one. This is really good.
Let's go back inside. How about these vintage lunch boxes? They have a lot of these heavy cast iron figures and old vintage toy cars.
Where is Kenton? I can't find him. Oh, a lot of vintage books.
So I'm looking for Kenton, but I'm also kind of looking at everything else, like that vintage typewriter. Nice. And these vintage pictures. And these spooky looking baby doll dresses. And these quilts. Ooh, what's this? What's this?
Music box.
So whose grandma or great-grandma dressed like this back in the day? I remember seeing my granny with hats and hat stands. That's just not something you see nowadays. Okay, this doll's a little spooky, I gotta say. I like dolls, but that doll is a little spooky. This one's a little spooky too, but not as spooky as the last one. The teddy bear is cute though.
That's huge.
I know. I didn't realize how large it was. It's quite large because you don't see these anymore.
No.
Granny. They're quite heavy. That's quite heavy. Do you remember this?
That's old theaters.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, use it.
Oh, no, it's locked.
Oh, it's locked?
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Let's see what it sounds like.
Oh, each time you pull a drawer out.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, well, that's neat.
Ah, and it moves. The clown moves.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
That's neat.
A Valentine's theme.
So that was Susannas Antiques. You should definitely look them up if you're in the area and visit.
So we decided to cross the street, and there's a store across that says Country Market Creative Exchange. Let's go check that out.
Lot sign. She said, yeah, it used to be the mayor's office.
I think these are real. Yeah, these are real flowers.
So the last store we were in was run by a mom and daughter team. Here it's different vendors, so the vibe is a little different. Each of the booths is owned by different vendors.
Handmade in Africa.
Well, you can justify anything you want. Whatever works.
Rwanda and Kenya. Base is an old sewing machine, and then the top. Singer base, circle.
Then my attention was drawn to these faux cupcakes. You know I love my dessert. So I was trying to figure out whether they were like soap or whether they were something, you know, functional, but I think they're just decoration. And they're quite cute.
We need a top prize winner.
Jams?
Yeah, but they
If elected leader, I will
That's
extend the hours
Scupper
during which all
jelly.
winners can use.
that?
That's a particular grape, southern grape.
Scratch off
Suppernog.
This month's tickets are packed with millions.
Some I won't bug you. We're on a diet, that's why he's thinking about it.
In Kenton's defense, he's been really strict in the last 2 weeks and has actually lost 7 pounds. So we'll let today slide.
Fat scoops.
Now, I didn't have any ice cream, but that's because I was weak and yesterday I had a slice of cheesecake. Don't come for me.
There you are with the ice cream.
Anyway, Kenton is happy. He's doing a little happy dance. Look at him.
It is?
Old wooden bird cage.
Is it $25? If it were $25, hell yeah, I would get it. So am I wrong? Does it not say 25 bucks or not? Or is it the bird?
Oh, it's a bird.
It's the bird?
Yeah, comfort birds, hand carved out them.
So how much is the bird cage, or is the bird cage not for sale?
Bird cage, $175.
Oh, bird cage 175. Okay. Well, that's still not bad, really, if it's a
Handmade,
vintage
yes, it's
handmade bird
handmade,
cage.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. $250 for the hutch.
If you need a box, they have boxes. All sizes of wooden boxes and chest sets and you name it. Handmade boxes. Kenton's still enjoying his ice cream. Looking at all the bird feeders. They have all these cute little garden ornaments. I'm still looking around. Oh, they have all these beautiful wind chimes that actually sound amazing. You know, spring is coming soon. Get your garden right.
They even have boiled peanuts. Oh, okay.
So that's our time at the Creative Exchange. We're so glad you are here. Anyway, I was so excited to get back home so I could edit this video, one, but really so I could go over that first aid book, that vintage first aid book. I picked it up and it was only $8, I believe. So let's take a look. This is very interesting, or at least my nerdy self finds it interesting. First aid is defined as the immediate and temporary care given the victim of an accident or sudden illness until the services of a physician can be obtained. Now remember, this book is from like 1957. Look here, telephones are available along highways to summon medical assistance. Look at the old telephone booths. Wow.
Dislocation of the shoulder, dislocation of the thumb. Oh, Lord.
As someone who suffered through anatomy class and physiology, I find these drawings very fascinating. Of course, the name of the muscles and the internal organs are all the same. Same as it was in the 60s or 50s is the same as it is now. Now, I do think it's interesting that to learn first aid, you had to learn the name of these poisonous snakes. diamondback rattlesnake, timber rattlesnake, all these different snakes, because I guess that was what was popular in America. Probably still is, though. Anyway, they also were obsessed with like bandages and how to wrap bandages. I guess before technology and proper stretchers and proper casts. I also found this like cutting of a newspaper, so it's not part of the book, but it was stuck inside the book from July 1977. I guess they included it in the book, or somebody must have tucked it in because it also had pictures of, I guess, what we would now call CPR, even though CPR is not conducted in the same way as it was back in the day. But yeah, kind of cool. So I'm definitely going to keep that piece of newspaper as well. There's also a bit about poisonous plants like poison oak and poison sumac, which, as you know, is very common here in the outdoors. But I also found it fascinating how they treat poison. So accidental poisoning, say from rat poison, you could take some strong black tea, milk of magnesia, which I don't really see much anymore, but my mom used to give me milk of magnesia, and also very burnt toast. Like, are you serious? That was the cure, or that was the treatment? That's crazy to me. Anyway, I was really fascinated, and it had me thinking about all the old things that I have in the house and all the old things that we have acquired and loved. Now, you know, again, my taste is eclectic. Like in my office, it's all pretty modern, in my opinion. However, around the house, I mix like modern with vintage stuff. We like to go to thrift stores, but also auctions. Some of our things are quite expensive and some things are very cheap. So like this is a school desk. An old school desk from the 50s. And I think I paid like $30, $40 for it, but it's actually worth a few $100s. I love things with stories. I love things with a history. I love things that are fascinating. This is a very modern chair, bought brand new. And you can see in the background, that's an old bookcase, which I painted. And in it, I have all kinds of things like my books and my little mice. And they keep the house nice and cozy, and I love them. Because I'm that kooky little woman, yes. And I also have these amazing vintage finds. These are from auction many years ago, like these candelabras and this old clock. This old clock means everything to me. It's old bronze, and it actually works, but it needs to be tuned. It definitely needs to be tuned, but I wanted you to hear the chime. It really does still work. Now, you've probably seen this glass and crystal table candelabra, which Kenton got for me not too long ago, and I believe this was from auction as well. So we like to mix it up. One of my favorite pieces is my Vanity from Impressions Vanity in my bedroom, or our bedroom, but you know, women rule the bedroom. But anyway, my lovely husband and sons put that vanity together, and I absolutely love it. And it was worth every penny. Anyway, when I turn on the light, I feel like a queen. It makes me happy, especially in the wintertime. You know, we need the light. On there, I keep all of my perfumes. I have some jewelry up there. I also have some hair products in the drawers. But yeah, you remember this perfume I got recently for Christmas. Now, this bottle of perfume I don't actually wear. This used to be my grandmother's perfume, or one of her bottles of perfume I took when she passed away. So I like spraying it in the air just to smell what she smelled like. It just reminds me of her, but I don't actually wear it. So still thinking about vintage things that I have. As you can see, I have some older mirrors, and I like to mix it up with newer mirrors or contemporary mirrors with vintage mirrors, and I just like the effect that it creates. Then I started to think about important things that I have that are old, or old things that are important to me. And this bag is from Nigeria. This bag is older than I am. It is genuine snake skin. And it's, like I said, older than I am. So it is definitely something that I will cherish. and we brought it with us when we moved to the United States, or it was one of the things that my mother and I packed. This is the oldest bag I have from Kenton, i.e. my husband. This is the oldest bag I have from him, and this he gave to me about 20 years ago while we lived in New York. This is the Ellipse PM, and as you probably already know, it's coated fabric with cowhide leather trim. I love the little padlock. Staying on the vintage theme, this little silver locket I've had for almost 30 years or more than 30 years. I actually have Kenton's picture in it, and I've had that picture in it since we were dating. Wow. So that locket is older than my children, and I haven't worn it in a long time. I probably should wear it for Valentine's Day. And then this bracelet is a jade bracelet. It's quite heavy, and my mom gave this to me when I graduated medical school. So this I wore on graduation from med school. So that was over 20 years ago. It's really cool. It has this gold clasp, and I can't believe it still fits. You know, I have put on a lot of weight since then, but it still fits because I still have very small wrists, or my hands are very small, and so are my wrists. So you've seen me wear this before. And it came with earrings. It also came with another bracelet and a necklace. I can't find the pendant for the necklace, sad to say, but the earrings are still intact, still pretty, very dainty. And yeah, I've had them for years. And then of course you know that I have tons of old pictures, including old pictures of my parents. Like that's an old picture. The frame is not valuable, but to me the picture is very valuable. This picture was taken in England, Omar being held by our father, and I am being held by our grandfather, or my father's Nigerian father. Well, of course he's Nigerian, because my dad's Nigerian. That's silly. Anyway, you got the point. And here are my grandparents, my Caribbean grandparents. Anyway, I was then trying to figure out what's the oldest book that I own here in the U.S. Obviously, I must have owned other books, but they never made it to the U.S. with me. But this is the oldest book I currently have. To Habiba, with love, Dad, and as you can see, it was dated from 1987. So to date, that is the oldest book that I own that has my name on it, or is to me, and it's medically related. So this is well before med school. I would have been in high school at the time, but of course everybody knew I was going to be a doctor. Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this trip out to the antique stores. I hope you'll take a trip to your antique store in your neighborhood, or just go hang out with your grandma or your mother or your great aunt or somebody older in your family and ask questions and let them talk about their lives and their stories. There's so much to learn. You know, if you still have these people in your life, you are blessed. And to the seniors out there, keep living the best life possible. Stay healthy, stay well. We need you. God bless you. And thank you so much for watching this video. And I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.
Yeah, are we exercising or what?
No, I'm just burning stress.
Ah, boo.
Stop, boo.